All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Daily Post Nigeria. Please come to Plateau, see things for yourself. Plateau youths beg U.S. Congressman Moore. Now, the youths of Plateau State begging U.S. Congressman Riley Moore there to also visit Plateau State and see for himself. Recall that 2 days ago, this same U.S. Congressman Riley Moore visited Benue State after his closed-door meeting with the Nigerian representatives, Nuhu Ribadu, Chief of Defense Staff, Attorney General of the Federation, and all that. He said he had to go to Benue State to see firsthand for himself because he didn't really believe the picture that was being painted to him by Nigerian representatives. And when he got to Benue State, he was actually right because he saw the hundreds of thousands of Nigerians in IDP camps and he heard their harrowing experiences in the hands of Fulani headsmen. And I said that I hope that will change the narrative, because the kind of understanding that the US is about to strike with Nigeria is not the one I believe can bring an end to these attacks and insurgency. And therefore, the youths of Plateau State are now doubling down on what I have been saying, Riley Moore, please come to Plateau State and see yourself. You will realize why it is necessary for the US to come into this country and take these guys out themselves. I love the pressure that is being put on the United States by the real victims of insecurity in Nigeria, and I hope that real help will come. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that very despicable one coming out of Ebonyi State. It has now become a pattern with APC members. And next is that big one that is shaking the entire country right now. Tinubu is about to do the unthinkable. This man wants to sell this country to France. As we speak, many African countries that were colonized by France are breaking away because of the wicked imperial nature of France. But Tinubu just signed a deal with the French government that is bound to enslave this country to them. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. You will not believe what is causing fight at the National Assembly. CBN governor failed to remit 16 trillion naira. And some lawmakers say, let us call this man so that he can explain himself. But other lawmakers rose up and said, no, we must not call him. Meaning, behind, money has exchanged hands. Watch this video.
Order, please.
Does anything not call a police officer?
Honorable colleagues, we are more than that. We cannot resolve issues among ourselves democratically. We have to resolve into shouting and insulting each other. We are more than that. Honorable Mark, Honorable Kabiru, this is very unparliamentary.
Distinguished colleagues, I am Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani. I represent Albasu Gajin Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I am comrade, as mentioned by the Speaker, and I'm from Kano State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, looking at this subject matter is all important, and we have a lot of things to handle in this Parliament currently. I think, Mr. Speaker, for us to call the CBN governor to invite him to listen to such matter, an ad hoc committee should be set up purposely to focus on this subject. Then they should report to the House where necessary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You saw that. You saw how heated that argument was. Now look at this. Sahara Reporters, House of Reps summons CBN Governor Cardoso over 16 trillion naira alleged unremitted revenues. This is what they are arguing over. And there are arguments you will see, and you don't need to be told what is going on. The CBN did not remit 16 trillion naira to the Federation account. And some lawmakers said, we need to invite this man. Let him come and explain himself. Why have you not remitted 16 trillion naira to the Federation account? And other lawmakers stood up and said they must not invite him. You don't need a soothsayer. You don't need the services of a clairvoyant to tell you that those ones that are saying he should not be invited have gone behind to take their own share. So this is exactly what these men do within the National Assembly. These men are in a world of their own. They don't even care about anything that is happening in this country. They are just sharing the resources. Everybody is trying to grab what his hand can touch. It's like they told them, or it's like they are aware that very soon the country is going to crash. So everybody is trying to grab whatever he can grab. 16 trillion naira unremitted funds. And of course, you know, it is not only Cardoso that is involved in this thing. So many people within the hierarchy will share out of this money. And watch it. Now they are saying, let us set up an ad hoc committee that will, interview him and know what is going on. That ad hoc committee is going to do that interview at the back. The Nigerian press will not be there. We are not going to see details of the interview. It will be somewhere behind. And that is how they will kill the matter. Remember when they asked Wale Edun to tell us how subsidy funds were spent, and he requested a closed-door meeting, and they had to send the press away. This is what they are doing with our money in this country. Let anybody not ask how did we get here in the next 2 to 3 years, because it is really going to get extremely bad for this country. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming out of Ebonyi State. That one is also related to what is happening with the CBN governor. There is a strong similarity. And next is that big one coming from the presidency. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has now signed a mega deal with French government, one that will cede our tax system to France. Nigeria is about going into the pit that other African countries are running away from. Let's start by taking that update from Ebonyi State. Look at how the papers reported it. We wake not knowing whose home will fall next. Ebonyi community accuses former Governor Umahi of demolitions and land seizures. Sahara Reporters. Now, this is a common trend now with these people within the APC. I hope you know that Sanwo-Olu, for the past 1.5 years, all he has been doing is demolitions and taking over of people's properties. That is what Sanwo-Olu has been doing in the last 2 years in Lagos. Wike, within the FCT, all he cares about is grabbing of land, giving to his friends, his associates, including his young children. Umahi now in Ebonyi State, grabbing people's lands, taking over people's properties. This is the state of the country. It's like they sat down and had a meeting that Nigerians are not reacting. Whatever we do, they don't respond. So why are we holding back? Let us just take over this country entirely, not just by controlling judiciary and the police and other arms of government. Let us control the land too. Let us take over their properties, control the air that they breathe. I'm sure that other appointees within this government are doing it. A time will come, over 85% of the properties in this country will be owned by APC members. Are Nigerians going to open their eyes and allow these despicable acts to continue in the name of docility, or in the name of party preference, or in the name of religion? Because, like I said, we can't start asking ourselves, how did we get here? We are heading to a place now. There is a point we are heading to with all that is happening in this country. So by the time we get there, we can only have ourselves to blame if we remain docile. We are going to talk about the personal income tax in the next update, because just as Nigerians were reacting to this, that big one on the agreement that the presidency through Federal Inland Revenue Service struck with the French government began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking news: the Federal Inland Revenue Service has signed a landmark cooperation pact with France aimed at modernizing Nigeria's tax administration through digital transformation, capacity development, and improved cross-border enforcement. The agreement comes barely weeks before the formal transition into the Nigerian Revenue Service by January 2026. Now, this is a very blanket statement. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, that is now Nigeria Revenue Service, it becomes Nigeria Revenue Service by January 2026, has signed a pact with France aimed at modernizing Nigeria's tax administration. France will be the one to modernize our tax administration. The same France that Burkina Faso ran away from. The same France that several countries in Africa are running away from because of what France is doing to their resources. That is the same France that Tinubu is going to sign a pact with. Do you know that France is so they dominate you to the point that many African countries, as we speak, have their currencies printed in France? Ivory Coast, Senegal, Cameroon, Chad, Congo. The currency they use in their countries printed by the French government. Now, many people have been asking that, is Tinubu going to stay in office forever? Why is he doing all these things? How is he going to control the resources when he leaves office? This is his method. He has unveiled his method through which he wants to continue to control Nigeria's federal resources even when he's out of office. He wants to hand over everything to France. By the time he hands it over to France, France will be giving him his own percentage, even when he leaves office. This is what he is planning. And then personal income tax. They will now come by next year. They said whatever you are earning annually, they will remove 800,000 naira aside. They will now tax what is left, either 15% or 18% or 21% or 25% according to what you are earning. This is what they want to do next year. They will now come into our accounts, pack all this money, and pack everything to France. This is the same thing that France did with other African countries. Today, look at Benin Republic. They wanted to do a coup. France was even more concerned than the country themselves. France was more concerned about Benin Republic coup. They quickly called Tinubu and told him to send a fighter jet so that Benin Republic will not fall to those coupists. Why? Because they want to continue to control Benin Republic. This is what they are planning. Oya Tinubu, go and fight them. Ensure that they don't take over the country. You already have your own share with us. This is the deal with France. I will hand over Nigerian tax system to you. Do whatever you want with it. Then give me my own share of it. You know, this has become a serious disease. This thing that these men are doing is no longer ordinary. Because you have so much money that you cannot even exhaust. Sheyi Tinubu's grandchildren cannot exhaust the money that Tinubu has kept on ground. Sheyi Tinubu's grandchildren, not children. So, like your third, fourth generation already have money for the rest of their lives. Yet, you want to sell out the entire country. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by African Resistance says, the French is laughing at Tinubu. Official bat is selling out Nigeria's unborn generation to French racist Nazis regime of small Hitlerian Emmanuel Macron. Nigeria will liberate themselves. Nigeria is not Benin or Cameroon. This tweet is saying Nigeria will never allow this to happen. Well, that is left to be seen. And this tweet here says, when will the federal government sign cooperation agreements to modernize Nigeria's healthcare improve security and education? Who benefits from this tax system? Why not do something that will benefit the masses and not the government in power? This greed will end Nigeria. Wait and see. The man is doing things that will benefit himself. He doesn't care about education or any other system. And this tweet by Oshishi says, all the countries colonized by French in Africa are looking for ways to get out of their grasp. But look at Tinubu in a desperate attempt to get recognition from Western countries, running towards the very people he should stay away from. This is not about recognition alone. He wants to continue to take over the resources of this country even when he leaves office. And he wants to do that through France. He will sign an agreement with them. And Usman here says, people who doubt that France colonized Nigeria should pay closer attention. Unfortunately, saving Nigeria from Tinubu and France will necessitate an unlikely action. Whoever helps Tinubu to gain power is either unaware of what he stands for or is an enemy of Nigeria. I am telling you. How can you in good conscience allow a man like this to get into power? And what he's doing is that he wants to carry all these other politicians along. He will open up to them and say, what I'm doing is I am taking the country's resources through France. So come with me and let us be enjoying it together. We'll enjoy it for the rest of our lives. Our children will enjoy it with us. That is what he's trying to do. And this video says, we need to stop APC and Tinubu before he sells this country to France. So let's leave all this typing on X and do something real to stop the APC. Well, that is it. Unless we go out and do something real, we will never be able to put an end to this. And if this is allowed to continue, I keep saying it here, that if this man stays in office beyond 2027, the harm that he will do, even a decade of good leadership, will not be able to fix it. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. Wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.